In today's video, how to preserve your fat loss.
By myself.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Ravella from ProPhysique.com, and this is 5 parts, the 5th part of my series on fat loss. And it was kind of by accident that I started doing these videos, because I myself am getting into the process of getting leaner and dieting and losing body fat. And so I started to take mental note of the phases that I actually go through when I get into a fat loss phase. Because a couple weeks ago when I started the process, I said, man, I don't feel like jumping into this cold turkey. I'm gonna give myself like a transition period, which was about 2 weeks, right? And so from there, I just started thinking, man, how do I actually go about this mentally? What are the building blocks that I take to get to my goal? And I started coming up with these phases. Like, started calling them a phase, and then I started doing these videos. So it's been kind of fun to do a mental checklist, because each video that I've done, I haven't done it with the next video in mind. I've just kind of gone and taken notes and putting it together. And now I actually really feel like I have something substantial here, because the last video I did, I felt like, you know what, I thought 4 phases was enough, but now I realize there is a 5th phase. There was not always a 5th phase. There was only 4 phases for me years ago. And maybe even before that, there was only 2 phases. But now, I feel like it's a complete circle. A complete circle. So, I had to look up what to call this phase. And the best word that kept popping in my mind over and over was preservation, right? How to preserve your fat loss. Because if you have put in the damn work to lose a bunch of body fat, you don't want to undo that, right? We don't have a weight loss problem. We don't have a fat loss problem. As I've heard before, what we have is a problem keeping the weight off. So, whatever phase you feel is the most important, once you reach your goal, there is zero doubt that preservation is going to be the key to you not having to go through all that again. And one thing I know for certain, it is a lot easier to keep weight off than it is to get it off, right? Once body fat is off your body, I find, at least with my clients and myself, it's a lot easier to stay in that state. I didn't say it's easy. I said it's easier than that constant grind of adding cardio, dropping calories, figuring out when to do refeeds, diet breaks, tracking round the clock, right? Those things can be extremely difficult. Low energy, low ability to focus, like food obsessed, right? Well, what do we do to preserve fat loss? If you know me, you know what I'm about to talk about. The process is called reverse dieting. And for those that are not familiar, this simply means we start to gradually increase calories and gradually reduce cardio so that we're creating a new metabolic set point, okay? We're allowing our body to stay in this spot for a while, so it now becomes homeostasis. Because when you lose a bunch of body fat, your body is damn determined to get your body fat back on. You're going to be hungry. You're going to be craving food. You're going to be food obsessed. You're going to be very, very capable of binge sessions. So we have to make sure that we create a plan. You can't just set the goal to get to a certain weight and then YOLO it from there. You have to set the plan in action. It can't be just about getting to your weight goal. This is my biggest problem with fad diets, or a diet with any name that you've ever heard of. The videos that I've done, the military diet, the boiled egg diet, these diets are so strict and so specific that, let's say they succeed and you lose 30 or 40 pounds, you're now gonna have to learn how to incorporate this into your day-to-day life, unless you're planning on sticking with that forever. And as we know, willpower is not gonna be your friend when it comes to these, when you get really lean. So what we need to do is have a plan in place, right? So this is why I love flexible dieting. This is why I'm not a big proponent of these really strict fad diets, because they don't really teach you skills. They might teach you some skills. They might teach you that, okay, I need to keep my calories low. I need to eat several meals throughout the day. Those are great skills to have. but they might teach you that certain foods are good, certain foods are bad, right? Well, that's not the case. There are maybe certain foods that are better for you or a better option or fit your goals better, but there's no food that's inherently evil. Once you start to unlearn that, and as I'm saying this, you might be thinking, well, no, I'm pretty sure cheese fries are evil. Well, no, they're not. When you consume them in large quantities, they might be bad for your goals, but I promise you, it's just calories that you can use for energy. Our bodies are basically energy machines. We're ingesting energy and we're putting out energy. And if you ingest more energy than you put out, your body expands. Unless you're still growing, and then maybe you just grow taller. But most of us, if you're watching my videos, probably not in puberty, right? You're probably full-grown adults, and the only way you can expand is wider, right? So that's step 5, phase 5, preservation. You need to have a plan. You need to gradually taper off the cardio, and that means you might just be reducing cardio 10, 15, 20 minutes per week. So if you were doing like a couple hours a week, just gradually walk that down. If you were on 1,000 calories, 800 calories, maybe the first week out of the diet you do 850 calories, maybe 900 the week after that. Does that sound tedious? Well, you know what's really tedious? Putting back 40 pounds of body fat that you just lost. Okay, or maybe even body fat overshooting because you didn't have a plan. That's gonna be it, guys. That's it. Phase 5, no phase 6s. I'm super amped because Erin Stern just left here. She was on the podcast with Lauren Conlon and myself for Redefined Healthy Radio. That's gonna be out tomorrow. I've been a huge fan of Erin's for so long that I've seen her around. She's a local girl to Tampa. So it was really cool to have her over here. I learned a lot about her. She's really funny and she's got some great stories, so I know you guys are going to enjoy it. So be sure to look out for the podcast. And yeah, we'll have to start a whole new video series tomorrow because there's no phase 6. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
By myself.